And so does one of the players that he's coached to this level, Sergei Andreev. Hopefully not trying to put the boss off.
Certainly we'll be trying to beat him. Certainly trying to encourage those pins to fall over. They do fall over if you put them in the 1 and the 3 pocket for the right-hander, but not where Victor put it just there. Leaves the 6-pin standing, which can only be a spare, one would hope.
Does it?
It was actually the 3-pin, but so they stay clean after 3 frames. Victor really enjoying himself here, being encouraged by the audience.
Well, he's been a regular fixture, hasn't he, from the start, Victor Krasavkin. He's been a permanent fixture here at this Bowling Promotion Cup, and really that's what first alerted us to the fact that Russia was starting to develop a real 10-pin programme, and I bet you it won't be long before we start to see some real stars coming out of that country. That's a super effort from Sergei.
Well, Sergei Andreev is one of the Russian stars. He's a national team player in the squad for more than a few years. He has represented Russia 1 or 2 international tournaments, but there are some players coming through, and with the expertise of international coaches as well as Victor there, they're getting the equipment over there, and they're all the bowlers are having access to the top equipment, and of course the game is improving. Guess where he's gone?
It's unbelievable.
Yes, I think Bruno's kind of wondering where the 1-3 pocket's gone. He just cannot seem to get to the right-hand side of the lane to hold it out. The 1-3 pocket again. He's crossed the head pin and leaves the 3 and the 6-pin standing.
Well, he's concerned about that. He's really concerned about going too far right and then not being able to get back in and ending up with something even worse than the shots that he's getting going across the other side.
I was going to say something. Desperate times means doing desperate things, and he hasn't actually yet moved to the right-hand side of the lane to give it a shot. And he comes back with a spare, but kind of needs to experiment a little bit.
So a bit of old school, maybe just go to the right side and almost spear it into that pocket.
Well, that's right, yeah. Certainly give it a shot. It can't do that much harm. You know, if you're bowling a match and you can't make the 1-3 pocket, then you're really not in the game at all.
Let's see how far left or right that Miller goes. Now he's sticking towards the left, but that's a little more central than we have seen from him, but he's left a 10.
Yeah, not a bad looking shot. A bit of decent speed on that one. Held it down the lane before the break point. And he'll just spare out a 10-pin in the 4th frame. Just trailing by 10 pins at the moment are Miller and Krasavkin. And that just holds on for a nice little spare in the 4th frame. Leaping forward as we do, we see Bruno Bidone coming up in frame number 8. They've still got 10 or 12 pin lead, just one spare in it, so they have to keep clean. And Bruno's got to just keep this ball in play, try and stay clean. Oh dear.
Well, that was his concern, trying to hook it back into the pocket, getting caught up in the lane oil. And that was very, very light back into the deck.
Just didn't do anything, did it? The ball was in the right area of the lane. It just seemed to have no rotation or drive in the back end, and just sailed on.
I hate to say it, but that could cost Bruno and Sergei.
Well, it's a tricky little spare on the left-hand side. It's the 2, 7 and the 8. The 2 and the 7's pretty easy, and the 2 and the 8's pretty easy, but altogether, you've got to be pretty accurate. And unfortunately, it's an open frame, and it's frame number 8, and they've opened up. So it's going to get even closer now. It's going to be quite a tight finish here.
Well, Victor's nodding away in the background because he knows that's opened the door up. It's not a massive opportunity, but it's certainly an opportunity, and he and Matt Miller have to try and score heavily enough to take it. Oops, a daisy.
Yep, phone call from Matt Miller.
Didn't seem to faze him at all. Oh, well done. He was so locked in on the shot, he just didn't even realise.
Just ignored the phone, didn't he? And just buried it in the pocket. So that's going to drag Matt and Victor back. And this ball here in the 9th frame could really tighten it up. Could be looking for a grandstand finish here, going all the way to the wire. Determined look on his face. Oh, it's left, isn't it? In the Brooklyn, it's the Bidone pocket. Leaves the 5-pin standing right in the middle of the deck. Well, you shouldn't really leave a 5-pin on a strike ball, but if you do, it should be a straightforward spare because it's right in the middle.
Yes, effectively you can throw the same ball that you've just thrown and it should hit.
Well, you throw your strike ball and you should get it.
Removed.
Didn't roll his strike ball, he just threw a straight shot at it, but it is covered, so it is a closed frame.
So at the moment, Miller and Krasavkin still on for the win.
Yeah, they've got just more than a spare lead at the moment. It's about 15 pins.
All about setting the mark now for Bidone and Andreev. They've got to at least ask a question here of Miller and Krasavkin, and the way the lanes have performed, the conditions have been really tricky. Anything could happen. This one's going Brooklyn again, and I'm afraid the boys are just not getting the results they're after.
Yeah, it came wrong off the hand at the bottom of the swing. It was going left as soon as it touched the lane. It's a 5 and a 9-pin spare. Should be pretty straightforward. They're working on an open frame, and they really don't want an open in the 9th frame. Started off all right, this pairing. 3 strikes in a row.
Yeah, if only they could have hung on to that form and then just kept it nice and clean. But they're in a real dogfight now.
Well, this is it. Once your A game is gone or the lane starts breaking down, you come out of your comfort zone, but you have to have your B game with you and be able to use that as well. And that's just ridiculous. Back to that shot up. I mean, that was just... I'm kind of lost for words, really. Yeah,
that's untidy. That's really untidy from Sergei, and he'll know that.
It's 2 open frames in a row, and they go to 175 in the 9th, with a possible 205 max. Bruno doesn't look too impressed either, does he? No. It really was a poor shot. I could see what he was trying to do, but it was just executed all wrong.
It's going to cost them dear.
Well, it could well do. Bruno's got to put some pins on the board here in the last frame. And once again, he's not in the pocket. He's left the 3 and the 10 pin on the right-hand side. It's just a small split that the ball will go through. If he doesn't spare this, he takes 1 pin, they'll have a 184 score on the board. They would have started the game with 3 strikes in a row, and they would have finished with 3 open frames in a row, which is pretty outrageous, really. But it is a funny old game. Bruno really needs to slot this one right between the 2 pins. Well, it really wasn't anywhere near getting between the 2 pins. It's an open frame to finish with, and a score of 184. One would suggest it's a very disappointing finish.
Right then. Come on, Matt. Come on, Victor. Victor can't look at the moment. He's very nervous about this. This is a chance to progress. And Matt Miller's got to get this right.
Well, first of all, he's got to get the first ball in play. A spare and a strike will be good. Just to take victory here in the last frame. Make 20 pins in the last frame, Matt, and you're in there. Oh dear, and he's gone so wide. What's he done here? Oh dear.
That's horrible. That is horrible.
He's left the 1, 2, 6 and the 10, which is a huge split. He just needed to keep the ball on the lane, in play, hit the head pin.
And you see Victor's reaction there. He couldn't even look at his partner. He was really hoping to go through, and there was an opportunity as well. And
it's got to make a spare, Simon. Simple as that.
Oh no! Oh, we've seen it all today, Cass. Oh. We've seen it all. He's over the foul line. He's scored a 0. Bruno Bidone and Sergei Andreev are going through to the next round. That's after the break.